brothers and sisters, on this day in 2004, around about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, I was sitting in a fancy restaurant in Johannesburg, in South Africa. I was still then working as a journalist, and my pretty girlfriend was with me. What is true? I didn't fall from the sky. Restaurant at a place called Mevo, and the owner of the restaurant was shocked, and he rushed and pushed the beggar away. I got up and I intervened, and I asked the poor man what he wanted. He said to me that he was hungry and he needed something to eat. The owner of the restaurant looked at me, and I looked at him. I said, I'll buy food for this man. But the owner was very adamant. It's an upmarket restaurant, 5-star, A-class. So he said, if this man is going to eat here, he has to eat next to your window. And I sat there watching this beggar eating, and I was thinking to my morning job, looking at this man. And we noticed something horrifying. A very costly meal. This man put his fingers into the plate and took out the meat. And when he was done eating, he pushed the plates, walked up, and went away. I was filled with rage. And then something happened that changed my life forever. For the first time ever, I heard deep within me what I perceived to be the voice of God, telling me that in the world today, people treat God in the same way as the beggar had ungratefully treated me. One of the reasons, brothers and sisters, why I eventually became a Franciscan was because of my long reflection on that incident. It occurred to me later on that there were two types of people in the world: the grateful and the ungrateful. The grateful would always appreciate the little good done to them. The ungrateful will never appreciate the millions of good things you will do to them. It became clearer to me that our vocation and indeed life itself was like an expensive meal in a fancy restaurant handed to us for free by God. We are all dirty beggars. And St. Francis says this in his writings. We are all dirty beggars in front of God. Each one of us is at table eating the meal either with gratitude or ingratitude. Those with ingratitude are very careless about their lives and about their vocations. Even if they profess and they make the promise to follow God as religious or admired people, it takes nothing for them to break their vows. Those with gratitude are very careful and are very prudent because they know the importance of the meal that has been set down in front of them. Ultimately, my brothers and sisters, these two opposing forces, gratitude and ingratitude, will decide our faith, whether we make it to heaven or not. The word gratitude traces its origin from another word, grace or gratia. When we thank someone, we are acknowledging that we have received graces from God through that person. And that is why gratitude and thanksgiving are sometimes synonymous. To put it short, my brothers and sisters, to become saints, we need to learn how to bend our knees and sincerely say thank you to God. This act is transformative. When we thank God, we are automatically acknowledging and professing our helplessness without Him. And there is nothing and no one that God loves more than the person who admits his or her total dependence on the providence of God. More graces are given to those who are grateful. This is exactly what we notice in the lives of Christ and many of the saints. In the Gospels, Jesus demonstrates his gratitude to God in a number of occasions. In John's Gospel, chapter 11, verse 42, before raising Lazarus from the dead, Jesus prayed, saying, I thank you, Father, for you always listen to me. At the multiplication of 5 barley loaves and 2 fish to feed the 5,000, Jesus took the bread and gave thanks to the Father. John 6:11. And then at the Last Supper, Jesus took the cup and gave thanks. Luke 22:17. The Virgin Mary, our role model of gratitude, was full of praise and thanks to God, especially in her Magnificat. My soul glorifies the Lord. The Almighty has done great things for me. It is God who has done these things for me, not myself. Luke 1:49. In the Franciscan sources, the word gratitude appears about 22 times. For example, in the Canticle of Brother Son and Sister Moon, the Franciscan source number 263, Francis says that we should praise and bless the Lord and thank and serve Him with great humility. And then in the regular Noculata, number 17, Francis says, that when friars preach, not for 3 hours, they ought to let everyone know that only God deserves total praise and thanks. And then, of course, the ultimate chapter of the regular Noculata is number 23, and is entitled strangely, Praise and Thanksgiving for Graces Received. My dear brothers and sisters, we see clearly that our relationship with God is nourished and sustained by prayer. And the most powerful of all prayers is called thanksgiving or gratitude. Each time we approach the end of the year, we benefit from a special grace called hindsight, which, if used properly, could help us to change the outcome of our future for the better. So I ask you, my brothers and sisters, when we look back at 2022, taking into account the story of the beggar in Johannesburg into serious consideration, how would we describe ourselves at this crossroad? Grateful